This week on UB Football Insider with Lance Leipold, Coach breaks down the Bulls' road trip to play the Redhawks. We'll have our top 5 plays, our Karuba collisions. You'll meet the one-armed corner who is providing some knockout blows and an update on the field house construction. It's all just ahead on UB Football Insider.
Every day we work to get stronger. This is how we come together. This is how we fight. We are UB. Bull Jacks, offense, ready! Bull Jack, defense, ready! Ready!
The Bulls are ready!
Drew Anderson gets it, back in the pocket, pump fakes, steps up, throws down the middle, it is caught, touchdown! Shotgun snap, Childers in the pocket, rush, hit, sacked. Khalil Hodge with the sack for the Bulls, his second of the year. Kyle Ventrese is going to throw on 3rd and 1. Deep downfield, jump ball, Johnson got it! How about that?
When you win games, that's how you get confidence. When you make plays, that's how you get confidence. So down the stretch, we played better and better and better. And then obviously the bowl game against Mississippi State, where we played really good football for 4 quarters and almost beat an SEC team. Even that loss helped grow our confidence of our football team. And then, we went to Iowa first game a year ago, and I was trying to convince them the night before that we can do this. Like, we have good players now. You may be young, but you're talented. You're gonna go toe to toe, and you're gonna find out you can hold up tomorrow. And way different 13 weeks later when we go to Mississippi State, our kids are talking about beating them. They didn't need me to say, hey, we can do this. So obviously going into this year, confidence means having our programs in a completely different place than we were.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to UB Football Insider with Lance Leipold, presented by ECMC. My name is Paul Peck with the Bulls head coach as we get you ready for today's road trip on the road in Oxford, Ohio against the Miami Redhawks, Lance. After 2 at home, you pack everything up, you head out of town. This is a very interesting challenge to a team that many thought to be one of the favorites in the MAC, and they may still be, but they haven't quite gotten off to the start they were hoping for.
Yeah, big challenge today, Paul. It's a team that is still a solid football team, has kind of lost a lot of close games, much like we have, and they're going to need a win just like we do, and it's going to be 2 football teams battling to see who can come out with it.
Last year they did something that no one had ever done before, which is start the year 0-6, then win 6 games in a row to become bowl eligible, and then they go to a bowl and they just barely lose to an SEC team in Mississippi State, and that had a lot to do with sort of fueling the thought that the Redhawks were going to be a real contender in the MAC. But look back at what happened last year. How did head coach Chuck Martin get his team rallied and inspired to win 6 in a row after an 0-6 start?
Well, it says a lot about Chuck Martin as head coach, his staff. They're a young football team last year, and they still have quite a few underclassmen. And I think the thing about just asking your players to get better each and every week, keep battling, good things can happen, much like we tell our players. I think they started to see the benefits of that last year, and I think they're probably saying some of the same things this year with a challenging schedule. They went to Notre Dame and played, and now they've kind of hit a couple bumps, but they'll be more than ready today.
2 losses in a row for the Redhawks to drop them to 1-2 in the MAC, including a loss to Kent State last week by just a field goal. What have you seen from the most recent version of the Redhawks?
Still very talented in the skill position areas, a lot of athleticism, a lot of confidence in the secondary. I guess I'd start there. They're going to play some man coverage up front, a solid physical front 7. And then when you go offensively, after losing their quarterback, not as much quarterback run game as they've done in the past, but again, still a weapon there in Billy Ball, who started 13 games in his career.
Well, and you mentioned it, they're dealing, much like you're dealing, with injuries to their starting quarterback. And Gus Ragland, who was the starter, who was the guy that inspired that great finish last year, is out of this game. He will not play. Their backup, Billy Ball, who started against UB 2 years ago, is a kid that you know very well. And it just seems to me every week your team is either dealing with your own issues with a backup quarterback, or you're facing one, because this will be the 8th game now, and it's the 6th time you face someone other than the guy who started the season at quarterback for the team you're playing.
Yeah, and I think that's why you see so many teams, needing depth at quarterback. I think we all want that, but many of those quarterbacks had started sometime in their career as well. So either they had earned the job at one time or had an injury themselves that maybe took them out of it for a while. So we're playing against someone who has played in a lot of MAC games, has got a lot of starts under his belt. So we can't think that just because Gus Ragland's not playing that we're not seeing something that somebody that isn't capable.
This is kind of a question that relates to you and your team and relates to your opponent. And as we said, it relates to almost every opponent. But, to have to change quarterbacks in midstream like that, can you give everybody an idea of how much stress that puts on a coaching staff and how much it just changes the dynamics of a team because of the nature of the position?
Well, stress kind of goes with the job, I think,
That's
Paul.
true.
So I don't know about it. It's just a matter of how you practice during the week and the reps that you can give that backup quarterback at certain times. And for us last week to go to Kyle Van Treese, a true freshman, and not playing at all this season, being a third-string quarterback most of camp, that's where it's difficult. When you know that somebody's not available, then you've got all week to at least get them ready. Sometimes midstream, like we've had to handle twice this year, that's a difficult part because you got to remember what they practiced, how many reps, what they're really comfortable with, and then get it to work.
If it's Kyle Van Treese to have to start for your team today, he'll be the first freshman quarterback to start at UB since Drew Willie in 2005. But tell everybody what they need to know about number 7.
Yeah, Kyle Van Treese is a true freshman from Stowe, Ohio, just outside of the Akron-Kent area. And he's he came in at mid-year last year. He graduated from high school early. So that shows a lot about him as a person, handling his academics, doing well, the maturity to leave high school a semester early to come to college. He got those reps in spring ball, was able to learn the offense, and then he's come through and he's been very, very solid. He's a mature young man who's picked up the offense, learned as an understudy to Tyree and Drew Anderson, and now, it appears like he's going to get a chance.
All right, well, the best way to make his life a little easier is to have your team play very good defense and shut down the Redhawks. And one of the guys who will play a key role in that is cornerback Cam Lewis. We'll meet him when we return on UB Football Insider with Lance Leipold, presented by ECMC.
Midweek football returns to UB Stadium on Tuesday, November 7th when the Bulls host the Falcons of Bowling Green. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Where else can you see amazing touchdown catches?
Hangs it up deep into the end zone, jump ball caught, touchdown!
And gritty defensive plays.
Looking to throw, he is rushed, sacked!
You won't want to miss midweek action here at UB Stadium. For tickets and more information, call 877-UB-THERE or visit UBBulls.com.
This segment is presented by CEFQ, changing lives every day.
Welcome back to UB Football Insider with Lance Leipold. My name is Paul Peck. We're outside the Murchie Family Football Center here at UB Stadium. One of the outstanding players on the Buffalo defense is junior cornerback Cam Lewis. He wears number 39. That's kind of a fullback's number, and guess what? He plays defense with a fullback's mentality.
I'm Cam Lewis, cornerback, number 39 on the UB football team. I feel like I'm still in the development stage, but starting last year, it was a real help getting a whole bunch of game time experience, especially since I'm the only one now with a lot of game time experience. I have played all 12 games that started, so I really kind of know what the game speed is, and that helped me going into my junior year. Since I'm the number 1 corner now, I got to bring Roy Baker in. You got Slack, even though he's in the same grade as me. Just since I had the game time experience, just teaching them guys the stuff that I know, and just making them better. Football just brings a different type of excitement to me. It's like you gotta be a different person on the football field and stuff in regular life, and I like the different type of person I am on the football field, and I just like the excitement and the thrill that I get playing football. I was actually starting at middle linebacker. I tell my teammates all the time, that's why I'm pretty decent at hitting, because I played middle linebacker in high school, and then I did a whole bunch of hitting, collisions and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. My freshman year, we played NIU, outside guy, he ran a 5-yard in, and I read the route perfect. He ran straight, and I broke before he broke, and the quarterback threw it. I caught it, and I was just off to the races.
Picked off Cameron Lewis at the 45, at the 50.
He's gonna score.
At the 40, he's gone.
This is the best moment I had so far. I want some more of those.
He's just really a physical player. He sees things, he processes it, and then he reacts in a short period of time. And he's very, very aggressive, and he has a knack for the football, and that's more of, the way he plays. He has a great motor, plays with high energy, and sometimes in practice we have to slow him down a little bit, but that's how he practices and that's how he plays.
Yeah, I love it here. It's just don't get better than this. The student section that we have, the True Blue, the coaches, the academics is up top, like top notch. So I feel like I'm getting the whole complete little college experience here. I can say it's the best thing I got so far in my life. Just being able to be debt free out of college and not having my parents have to pay for college. It's just a big stress reliever. And doing what I love, actually, just being able to play the game and get a degree is a big plus.
Well, if people haven't noticed, Cam Lewis has been playing the last 2 weeks with basically a club on his hand after suffering a broken thumb. How hard is that for a cornerback to have to play basically one-handed?
Yeah, for a cornerback, it's definitely a difficult thing to do. For any player, it is. Usually you see it in the lines, Paul, as something happens. But in the Colgate game, I saw Cam with ice on his hand, and I didn't even think anything of it. And then all of a sudden we found out he had a broken thumb. And they put a couple screws in and a pin, and now he was cleared to play, and now he's been out there battling with it.
Yeah, he's a very aggressive player as a corner, and it was funny because in the game against Northern Illinois, he actually used the club to punch a football out and force a fumble, but he's a very aggressive cornerback anyway. Is that something you can kind of teach, or is that just a natural skill?
Well, you kind of have to want to. That's one big thing with especially at the defensive back position and corners. Is usually they say physical corners end up playing safety, and we have used him there a little bit. But the thing about Cameron Lewis is that in high school he did play some linebacker and some safety. So the natural aggressiveness and the physicality of playing on defense and tackling was something that he had when he came to campus.
He's been a big part of a pass defense that continues to be ranked among the best in the nation all season long. And even when he was out, you got guys like Tatum Slack and Brandon Williams and Roy Baker and Devin Russell to step up at the cornerback position. Talk a little bit about that group of DBs, and we'll lump the safeties, Williamson, Roberts, and the guys in there as well too.
Yeah, there's a year or so ago, even in our first season, we weren't exactly where we wanted to be depth wise, and I think we've been able to do that. We've had some growing pains there, but now you find yourself in a position, Paul, as you rattled off a bunch of names, that we have confidence in playing 4 or 5 guys at corner and multiple guys at safety, and we're getting ourselves in that position as we grow with depth that we can, if somebody goes down, the next guy can step in.
Well, the defensive back's life has been made a little easier because it seems like rarely a runner gets to them because it's hard to get through Khalil Hodge. And a minute or two to talk about what Khalil has done. An amazing 101 tackles through 7 games. It leads the nation. He's all over the field. I mean, he sidelines, middle of the field, chasing guys down. What has elevated Khalil Hodge's game this season?
Oh, I think there's a lot of things that we've done schematically to make it a little simpler for everyone up front to do some things. I think it still starts up front, Paul, with Justin Brandon, Chris Ford, and them doing their job to keep people off of him. But personally, what Khalil continues to grow as a linebacker, studying film, but he's really done a great job at taking care of himself, and he's really kind of watched where he's at physically, so he's able to move sideline to sideline, and it definitely has paid off.
Yeah, and again, those 101 tackles in 7 games lead the nation. It obviously leads the MAC. It's 33 more tackles than the number 2 tackler in the conference. That's an amazing statistic.
It is, but it also shows where we put a lot on him to make those plays, but he's making them for us, and we're going to need that again this week.
Well, he'll be a key player to watch for your game today against the Miami Redhawks. Coach, good luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's Bulls head coach Lance Leipold. 2:30 start on the road against Miami. You can hear it on ESPN 1520. You can see it on ESPN3. When we return on UB Football Insider, we'll have our Coaches with Cars segment and our top 5 plays. We're back right after this.
Midweek football returns to UB Stadium on Tuesday, November 7th when the Bulls host the Falcons of Bowling Green. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. Where else can you see amazing touchdown catches?
Hangs it up deep into the end zone. Jump ball caught. Touchdown.
And gritty defensive plays.
Looking to throw. He is rushed. Sacked.
You won't want to miss midweek Maction here at UB Stadium. For tickets and more information, call 877-UB-THERE or visit UBBulls.com.
This segment is presented by Town BMW, the official auto partner of UB Athletics.
It's time for our Town BMW Coaches in Cars segment. This week, it's offensive coordinator and running backs coach Andy Kotelnicki. He's the guy that calls the plays and tries to get his fastest players out in the open. So it only made sense that we let him drive a Town BMW convertible.
So what we have here today is our M240. Now this car is going to have 335 horsepower.
All right.
It's a lot of horsepower for not a very big car. That's going to equate to about 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds.
So I like it, nice and fast.
Exactly.
Put our hands up like this in there, like this. Little horns up. What's it like when the top comes up? Does it stay warm enough in the winter?
It stays warm enough, very well insulated. It's all automatic, no clips. All you have to do is press a button, it all does it by
Push the
itself.
button, that top closes?
You got it.
I like it. So if I'm taking this thing down the interstate, safely of course, and I had to pass somebody, let's say they were going 60 miles an hour and I had to pass them, how fast can I go from 60 to, say, 100?
About 3 seconds,
Oh,
3-4
I like
seconds.
that. I like the sound of that, Tom, right there. I like that.
It is a fast car.
Safety first, Bulls fans.
Safety first.
Safety first. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Gotta give them the horns up as we go by.
What do you think of this thing?
I like it. I like the way it handles. It's got some good pickup. It is definitely, as you like to say, a performance car.
It's time now for the top 5 plays of the week, brought to you by ECMC. The difference between healthcare and true care. Number 5.
So now it's 3rd and 4 for the Huskies from the Buffalo 48-yard line. Snap to Childers, rolls to the left, rush coming, hit, and sacked.
Wow.
It is Gaddafi Wright with his first career sack. The redshirt freshman brings Childers down back behind midfield.
Defense does it again.
2nd sack of the game for the Bulls, and again, the first of the career for Gaddafi Wright.
Number 4.
1st and goal, quarterback run, Childers up the middle, fumble, and the Bulls got it. The Bulls grab the fumble and recover at the 7-yard line. Miles Nicholas is the guy that comes up with the football.
Number 3.
Kyle Ventrese is going to throw on 3rd and 1. He's rushed. He hangs it up. Deep downfield, jump ball. Johnson got it! How about that? Anthony Johnson out of bounds near midfield. That's exactly what they did. A 46-yard pass play from their own 1.
Just toss it up, let him go get it.
Number 2.
Let's see if they do it again. So Ventrese's going to throw, steps up, throws to the far side, looking for the other receiver. It's caught! Antonio Nunn at the 10-yard line.
Wow.
Same throw, same play, different receiver, same result. All the way down to the 10, a gain of 43.
How about the receivers just going up top, high pointing the ball and coming down with it?
Number 1.
Bulls are trying to get one of those back here with a penetration to the 21-yard line. Empty backfield for Drew Anderson. Gets the snap, stands in the pocket, pumps, hangs the ball wide open. Bullseye! Emmanuel Reed came out of the backfield. He was wide open. It's a UB touchdown.
What an incredible throw.
He had to wait for Reed to get open, right? You could see Drew knew it was going to be there. He just had to wait for it.
Thrown off his back foot, falling away from it too.
For nearly 100 years, ECMC has brought hope and healing to Western New York. I'm living proof, and I couldn't be more grateful. Like cancer, we all hope trauma will never happen to us. But when it does, we can rely on ECMC to always be there. I hope you join me to be there for them and help them build their new state-of-the-art trauma center and emergency department. Visit supportecmctrauma.org to help learn how you can support life-saving care.
This is UB Football Insider, presented by ECMC, the difference between healthcare and true care.
Welcome back to UB Football Insider. My name is Paul Peck with Bulls Deputy Athletic Director Eric Gross. We are just outside the construction site for the Murchie Family Fieldhouse. Everything is underway. Progress is being made. Eric, I want to ask you a little bit about the groundbreaking ceremony a week ago, how emotional that was for you, and the impact that the Murchie family's donation to this facility will have on not only their legacy, but the legacy moving forward of UB Athletics.
Yeah, last week was a great week for us. You know, this has been something that's been in the works for decades now, and of course we've been here 5 years pushing this project along, so it's great to see it finally come to fruition. The Murchies have been tremendous supporters of UB Athletics for a very long time, and right now they're transformational for the program, and we're now building the crown jewel of our athletic facilities.
All right, well, we've got dirt moving, we've got bleachers removed, we've got heavy equipment operating. Give everybody an update on where we're at with the construction.
Well, right now the north bleachers are coming down, as you can see. Next, we're going to go ahead and take out the lighting that exists over the practice field. They're going to pull up all existing utilities and begin foundation work for the field house.
All right, so everything is moving forward on the timeline, correct?
Right.
And then finally, you know, this has been a project that you've spent a lot of time working on. What are your emotions when you walk in here every day and you see all this activity going on?
It's fantastic, and even better for us are to see the looks on the faces of our student athletes who are passing by and seeing this progress being made, and of course talking to other donors and supporters who've been waiting for this project for so long. It's fantastic.
All right, something for Bulls fans to notice every time they come to the remaining home football games or any of the other activities here on campus at UB. Progress happening with the Murchie Family Fieldhouse. And by the way, you and I make these hard hats look good, don't we?
Absolutely.
All right, Eric Gross is the Deputy Athletic Director here at the University at Buffalo. Lots of hard-hitting work going on behind me. There was plenty of that as well on the football field. It's time for our Karuba Collisions.
Here are this week's Karuba Collisions.
Childers is a redshirt freshman from Adairsville, Georgia. He hands it off to Jordan Huff, who runs to the right. He gets grabbed and drilled. Pushed backwards by Damone Harris and Jarrett Franklin. And that's going to be a 1-yard loss, maybe even a 2-yard loss. So it is 3rd down and 9 yards to go from the 25. Childers in the pocket. Rush hit as he throws. The ball flies out of bounds. Coming off the edge, it was Malcolm Kuntz who laid out Marcus Childers, and it's the Bulls that force a 3-and-out. Shotgun snap, Childers in the pocket. Rush, hit, sacked. Khalil Hodge with the sack for the Bulls, his 2nd of the year.
It's Khalil Hodge again, just playmaking every week in, week out.
Check out the Bulls on social media and choose your favorite Karuba Collision of the week.
Well, thanks for watching UB Football Insider with Lance Leipold. It's the Bulls and the Miami Redhawks later today. A 2:30 kickoff in Oxford, Ohio. Our pregame show on ESPN 1520 begins at 1:30. You can listen there on the TuneIn app, and you can watch the game on ESPN3. We'll see you next week for UB Football Insider.